Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this workshop, Provinces in the Front Line. What we're going to try to achieve in these 2 days is to share some insights given the projects we've been running in the provinces in our response to the COVID. When COVID hit, all of us were not really prepared, but we had to act expediently, given that there was a chance that we can experience a catastrophe if we don't respond accordingly. And the provinces had to come up with plans to respond to COVID. And today the objective is for us to share those insights, to see what worked and what still needs improvement. We know that we haven't reached the end of this pandemic. It's going to continue. Therefore, we need to extract those insights to see how we can enhance our plans going forward. On stage with me, I've got Mr. Godfrey Mashamba from the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation, and he's going to give us some brief opening remarks. Next to him, it's Mr. David Mercado, also a Chief Director in the same Department of Monitoring and Evaluation. And of course, they wouldn't have executed this project without partners. Therefore, next to me is Subethri Naidoo from GTAC, who also give us some opening remarks. Without further ado, let me hand over to Mr. Godfrey to say a few words.
Good morning, and thank you very much. Good morning, and thank you, Chair. And I greet everyone who's in attendance. From the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, we are pleased to be hosting this event. Looking back, this time last year, we knew very little about the COVID-19 pandemic. We were all anxious about what is a looming crisis, was going to be the looming crisis. We were preparing ourselves to how to deal with this pandemic. So we want to acknowledge, firstly, the forethought of the late Minister Mthembu for having guided the conceptualization of what we now call today the Country Report on COVID-19. So much has been done with the partnership of the National Research Foundation and the Government Technical Advisory Center in bringing together and mobilizing experts from across the country to contribute to this work. We now have collation of knowledge base about how COVID-19 manifested in South Africa. Importantly to note that at the level of provinces, where action was supposed to take place in articulating what the national response was going to be, different provinces had to adapt the national strategies to make them work in specific localities. It is important to acknowledge the drive of the offices of the premiers in various provinces and various actors in those spaces who have collated work and contributed to the knowledge base that we have today. So over the next 2 days, we are looking forward to be engaging with all of you on the lessons that we are learning on this journey. Besides the work that has been put together at the provincial level, there is a national country report which looks at a variety of themes that are relevant for this subject. It was important, in the words of the late Minister Jackson Mthembu, to document the story of South Africa. This because other countries are going to document their own story. We are writing our own story, and then we are going to be looking back at this type of report that we are bringing today to say what happened during the time of crisis in 2020 and 2021. So we are looking forward to engaging over the next 2 days. We want to thank the experts that have contributed to this whole process so far. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Godfrey. On that note, I'll also ask Subethri Naidoo from GTAC to say a few words.
Thank you very, very much, and good morning to everybody. I mean, this feels a little bit uncomfortable. So, a new world and a new way of doing things. And if you could see us here in the studio, most of you, you'd see how stiff and uncomfortable we are, worried about making a mistake. That said, this has been an incredible journey for GTAC. When COVID hit, we had very little understanding of what it was going to mean for GTAC's general technical business. And then through discussions with the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation and the Gauteng province, we realized that there's an important and an innovative niche space that we could make use of here. And we began to understand that we needed to work with our partners and find ways to tell our story as a country. And without the department, knocking on our door in Gauteng province saying we really need some help on provincial, a provincial understanding of what's going on. And at the same time, on the other hand, the Canadians very helpfully came to the party and said, we will pull together some kind of key, immediate, rapid response funding. What do you need? We were able to open the door with the generous help of the National Research Foundation and innovate quickly, make something happen really fast, and ended up with what I think became a project beyond the kind of scope and scale that we would have expected. So we're very excited about today. We're very excited to look at how this is going to work, look at what the results have been, and look forward to the discussions over the next 2 days. Thank you, Thabo.
Great. Thank you very much, Subethri. And on the line, we have Dr. Gansen Pillay from NRF, who's also going to give us some comments. Just like I've indicated that this project would not have been successful without the various partners, and NRF was one such partner. Over to you, Dr. Gansen Pillay.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be with you this morning. Let me acknowledge our partners, namely GTAC, the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, the Gauteng provincial government, as well as the experts, the various research experts across the country. I think I'm going to try and use this platform as an opportunity to bring to bear to the provinces the importance of research. When you looked at the onset of COVID-19, we were highly reactive in terms of what do we do next. And government had to turn its mind and head towards research and scientific evidence. Many of the members of the Ministerial Advisory Committee are NRF-funded researchers. We make an investment of about 5 billion per annum across the country to support the universities, the science councils, and the national research facilities. What I want to bring to bear this morning is that as we write our story of COVID-19 as a country report, we also need to reflect at the provincial level as to how can we be a proactive province rather than a reactive province. How do we ensure that the decisions we make are evidence-led? How do we make sure that it is research-informed in whatever policies we formulate? And therefore, I'm going to use this opportunity to invite provinces to co-invest with the National Research Foundation in the research that is needed at the provincial level. We have many instances of this in the country. I'm from eThekwini, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Durban municipality, for example, co-invests with the University of KwaZulu-Natal and the Durban University of Technology. So I implore provinces to actually join forces to make this co-investment, so whatever decisions that are being made, whatever policies that are being formulated are underpinned by good scientific evidence. With that, I'd like to also inform you that we make an investment of about 260 chairs, research chairs in the country, which we fund for 15 years. And a lot of that have risen to communities of practice, for example, poverty and inequality, gender-based violence, social cohesion, etc. So I would like to be able to say to you, please feel free to contact the National Research Foundation beyond this. What has happened is that with this pandemic, it was a wake-up call. And currently we're conceptualizing the establishment of a Southern African Center for the study of pandemics. We hope that the provinces will also join forces in trying to bring this to bear, and that we could play a role together with you and be able to do more, not just for science, but for society at large. We need to plan for impact, we need to manage for impact, and we have to ensure that at the end, you need fundamental research, because if you don't have fundamental research, you would not have any research to apply. I want to conclude by sharing with you a very small story on the importance of fundamental research. There was a US researcher many decades ago who's a fellow microbiologist. I mean, I've worked with him as well, Thomas Prov. And he went to Yellowstone National Park, where the thermal hot springs are, and he isolated this bacterium called Thermus aquaticus. And within that bacterium, they isolated an enzyme called TAC polymerase. It's an enzyme that can act at high temperatures. Now, that was fundamental research. But you will not be able to diagnose COVID without that enzyme in a polymerase chain reaction. So while we say that you'd like to see application, sometimes in the long term, you have to invest in fundamental research to ensure that at the end, you have something to apply. With those few words, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity. Our doors are open for collaboration, and I wish you the very, very best in the compilation of this report and hopefully the lessons learned. Thank you, and I wish you well in your deliberations. Regrettably, I have to go and join another meeting, so good luck and all the best for the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pillay, for those encouraging words. And for our colleagues who are connecting from home, please use the technology to type in your comments as well as some queries, and we'll attend to them.